All right.
We're now streaming live on Facebook, Abba.
Glorious.
Glorious. Now,
And everybody can see us whenever they want.
whenever they want. We should leave this on, shouldn't we?
No.
What was in retrospect, what was the experience like for you going live? What did it feel like anything for you?
Well, since I teach my Talmud class live, so it was just you and me, which is great, having our conversations. But looking at the screen and doing it was the same, it's the same oddity. But just you and me having the conversation was what this was special. So instead of doing it on the telephone, I can see you, we talk. I can see me as I talk.
No, I'm glad you said that, because that's what struck me about it too. I watched our conversation, and I sort of feel like in certain moments of our lives, and we do this with Ima and with my sisters and my brother-in-law, and I think we all do this. I don't suddenly turn on a different person when I'm in public, and what a gift it is to simply be ourselves, no matter who else is around, virtual or real.
Well, because I don't see anybody else, no matter who else will see this, whenever they might see it. There's nobody here now. It's just you and me.
Yeah.
So I don't feel anybody else out there.
Good.
It's different than you teach in person. You have a whole room full of people. But also it's different when you watch it afterwards, because then you're the third person watching the two in the it's different. It's just a different feel.
I had that, I think I told you this, I had that on Yom Kippur this past year. I was guest chazaning. You were there, whatever there means. and because we were concerned, we'd never done this before, the religious leadership decided that they wanted to pre-record a few parts of the service, including the Kol Nidre. God forbid we would be disconnected in such a solemn moment.
Yeah.
And so there I was davening before, break to this pre-recorded version of me. So there I am leading me in tefillot. It was so disembodied.
Yeah. It also that you sound different when you hear yourself recorded than when you hear yourself speaking.
Yeah.
I always told the B'nai Mitzvah kids that, when they had to speak slower, I asked them, how did you hear yourself? And they pointed to their ears, and I said, no, you don't. You hear yourself internally. And that's why you hear it even instantaneously quicker, which means you think you're clear, but my ears don't hear you clearly.
Right. Right. It's the different kinds of listening that go into this work, let alone anyone presenting publicly. One of the questions that I would have for you, and we haven't really prepared any of this thinking, it's very spontaneous, which maybe is the right way to do it. Do you find when you're speaking publicly or teaching and people are watching you, as opposed to right now where we just see each other, do you find your voice changing?
Well, if it's you and me and we're having a conversation, not particularly. What really is different, to be in a room with people when you're teaching, is that you feed off of their reactions, or they say something with a question or a comment, and all of a sudden, you were going in one direction, and now you're going to go in a different direction,
right.
Which is very hard to do when I have 11 people, 10 of them faces and one of them just listening. They're not, or whatever their problem is. It's very hard to worry about my book here, the screen here, and then to see their reactions, unless they talk up.
Right. Oh, so that's different. That's interesting. It says something big about the way, because I feel this way too, the way that we encounter groups that we're learning with, or even groups that we're davening with or leading. There's no such thing as receiving the experience, at least not in the ideal. They are actively participating in generating it, even if they're unaware of it, because something is more alive in their reactions.
Yeah, but I can't key off it as well from on the screen. I can't pay attention enough. I can scan it when I'm teaching. I can scan a room. When I was preaching, I could scan the room. I could worry about looking at one second the area now and take another look. I used to look up to the beam, up to the balcony, etc., and try to see faces and try to see. I would know where. So I know people who would feed in, and if I was doing an interactive teaching, that's not the same way doing this on the screen.
Yeah.
Or it's just maybe it's me, but I don't pick up the cues as much. And at the end of class, they tell me it's a wonderful class, and I had no idea during class necessarily whether it was really going over that way. I mean, we're doing a lot of a Creditor right now. How did you take it? Whatever. Well, there's not that much. I'm not getting the cue because they're a screen.
Well,
so,
let me end this way, only because this was a fun experiment for us to do again, and I'm going to run. But if I had told you a second ago that Ima is watching right now on Facebook from downstairs from where you are, miles away from where I am, laughing about us having a conversation about what it is to speak when no one's watching.
Yes, well, I always know Ima's watching.
So anyway,
I've learned not to worry about. I've learned to mind my P's and Q's and not worry about.
I'm just going to do this because I'm not sure this means anything in particular. Just very.
No, it means put quote marks on it. On P's and Q's.
See, I can make a reference to the show Friends, which you've never seen, I don't think.
I've seen Friends, but not to know anything, to be able to pick on it.
Well, he goes like Joey, who clearly doesn't know much. Joey doesn't pick up on facts and information. So he's learning what these mean. So he's trying, the whole episode, he's trying to learn what these means. Ross, his friend, says, Joey, you did it right. And he goes like this, thank you. So anyway, I love you.
All right. Glad I could help.
Thank you for helping. Let me
know how it worked out. It says live on Facebook on my corner up there.
So I guess it's true.
Yeah, raise me.
All right. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.